Okay, we are joined here with a fitness for our golf Titleist Performance Institute certified trainer down in Fort Worth, Dallas, with Chris Owenby. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Jay. How y'all doing? We're down in beautiful Dallas, about a snifty, snug 27 degrees down here. We're heated though, so we're able to practice. So we're okay down here.
Well, it's a little warmer. It's a little chillier up here in Omaha, Nebraska. It's about you're 26. Take about half that, maybe. So, speaking of cold temperatures, obviously when the temperature becomes a little too cold, or in some circumstances too hot, and it becomes the off season, there are a lot of people that just kind of put up their shoes and their clubs and call it a year and kind of wait for 4 or 5 months. Now, being a TPI certified trainer, you deal with some pretty passionate golfers in your gym. When it becomes off season, what do people typically do at your gym to improve their game?
That's a good question, Jay. You know, like you say, in the off season, I do probably about 10 to 15 sessions a day. And just like in any other sport, I mean, we're athletes, and we shouldn't just wait till the time that it's time to perform. So we have an off season. We have let's say a football player, they have an off season to gain strength and speed and agility. Then they have their preseason. Then they have the 2 days, and they have the practice, and they have the game. So my biggest thing that I tell my clients is we actually develop a plan. What are we going to do daily and weekly to hit that monthly goal? And I think one of the best things that I've seen is I utilize that 100-day challenge, and I think that's the best thing because it's going to number one, it makes you accountable, so it gives me a plan. Nutrition, it's going to tell me, my workouts and all that, and that's what I get to my clients, is basically a plan, to be honest with you.
Okay, and in that plan, there's so many different muscles going on in the golf, right? You've got to have cardio, so you have that endurance. You obviously need a lot of core strength, your upper body and lower body, and then also one thing that people can improve on, or flexibility is another thing, but I think another thing that kind of keeps everything together, the glue, is like balance. So I'm assuming that each day you work on something different. So day one, let's say, is upper body. Day two, can you kind of take us through, you don't need to give away everything, but just kind of take us through a typical routine. Let's just call it a weekly routine, and then, yeah, just go from there.
You bet. So you pretty much summed it all up. We work on strength, we work on flexibility, we work on proprioception and balance. We also work on dynamic movements or muscles that we are involved in the golf swing. I'll be the first one to tell you, there's no right way or wrong way to work out. There's more effective way to work out for your sport. So if I'm a linear mover, I'm going to train different than a rotary mover. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in my normal routine when they come in, we start off with dynamic stretching. Basically, that's just stretching with movement. Mm-hmm. And then we do 15 minutes of golf-specific weights. And all that means is basically they're 3-plane multifunctional movements, which, this next week's articles will actually show you a couple of those. Then we work on 15 minutes of core balance and stability. And I go for power development, but if I have to train the class statically first. So if they don't have static stability and I try to train them dynamically, we just have compensation. Okay? Yep. So the normal front bridge, side bridge, supine bridge, and then we kind of advance it from there. And then I finish off with static stretching, which is what we're normally used to, is basically you take a muscle, put that muscle into a certain position, breathe, hold, and release. Now, again, I will be the first one to tell you that we do the fitness, for health and longevity. I mean, definitely do your cardio for cardiovascular, definitely the nutrition to keep the weight off. But you can get stronger, more flexible, and better balance, but that doesn't increase golf performance. Meaning, if you can be the strongest, longest, most flexible person, but if you still have improper movement patterns, you're not going to increase golf performance, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense.
So with my clients, I'm a biomechanics specialist, so all that means is I understand movement. So if you want to be the best rock thrower in the world, I understand kinematic signals. And golf is just, to me, movement. So we actually train. So basically, first we find out, you know, the 12 mechanical swing faults are pretty much the effects. So I pretty much show them what the cause of that effect is. So unlike a regular golf instructor who might give you a drill to reinforce the effect, I basically show you the cause of the skill behind the drill, or the effect of the fault.
So essentially, it's like, okay, let's say a regular everyday hack like myself goes to the range, hits 100 balls, and I hit like 5 that are just outstanding shots, right? You know, the 250-yard drive or whatever. And you're the guy, and so, I mean, I have the technique, obviously, but you're the guy that helps me develop that proper body motions. So instead of hitting 5 out of 100, I can hit 75 out of 100, or, you know, a higher percentage of that 100 more consistently because I have the proper movements.
You're exactly right. I mean, the golf swing is just storing and releasing of energy. Anywhere in the golf swing, I lose energy, I lose power and distance. And you said it right. I mean, the faults of casting, cupping, scooping, chicking, blocking, you know, pull left, block right, those are all effects of what the body is doing. You know, the club's not swinging the golf club, the body's swinging the golf club. So if we have an improper movement pattern in the golf swing, then that's going to basically, it's not going to allow us to have improved movement efficiency, I guess you'd say, like you say. So my job is basically, there's really only 3 things that biomechanically that can happen in the golf swing. The swing faults, those are just basically drills that reinforce the effect. But if you don't understand the skill behind the drill's not effective. But if your body, if you understand how the movement should occur, then yes. So to get back to your first question, we don't hit tons and tons and tons of balls. Because if you have improper movement patterns, you're just basically reinforcing an improper movement pattern, right?
Yep.
So let's say somebody is, you know, on the downswing, they're early extending, meaning they decrease distance from them in ball. They got to release the club, get back to goal. There's your casting, cupping, scooping, chicken, blocking. We'll do a lot of exercises to, number one, to make sure, that they're hip joints that are addressed and not knee joints. Most people want to be knee joints that are addressed, which is, as we know, for a reactionary sport. And golf is more a load to explode, so more hip joints. And then I just teach people how the hips actually move 45 degrees back down and around. So if I'm in my backswing, my hips actually move 45 degrees back down and around versus rotary. Most people think their hips are rotary. The hips are actually an ellipse. They're elliptical in the downswing. So
Okay.
we can do it. So we can do an exercise. I don't know if you can see me there, but we can do an exercise here that trains the body how to recreate that movement pattern, but also still working right transverse anomalous, which is the one that holds the pelvis on the downswing. So I like to train muscle with movement, but it's really the person who I'm working with, whatever their improper movement patterns are, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. I've got a couple more questions for you, and then you know, if you feel free to add anything else that you feel would be beneficial. But so question 1 is this: golfers come in all different shapes and body types, right? You've got, you know, the Tiger Woods athletic freak on one side, and on the other side you got John Daly, right? And both of them can just boom 300+ yard drives. Now, and you got all the golfers in between there. So for people that are really working, like, how do you work with different types so that they can have a consistent swing? Are there different exercises, or are they the same exercises? Take us through that, please.
Good question. So golf to me is just, okay, basically my demographic is pretty much 50 to 65-year-old executives. Top 8 personalities, financially play golf, physically starting to make ground. Now, what I've found as a coach is basically I look and see what their past is, what sports they played in the past. Because if you study István Boli from Hungary or long-term athletic development, you know that fundamental movements transfers into fundamental sports skills, which transfers into physical literacy. And all that means is if I know how to throw a rock, so fundamental movements, hopping, skipping, running, jumping, throwing, catching, bounding, Those are fundamental movements you have to master by the age of 12. Then that fundamental movement of throwing transfers into a fundamental sports skill. So if I can throw a rock, I can throw a javelin, I can throw a rock, I can throw a football, I can throw a baseball. Well, in my world, that just means you understand kinematic sequence. So I know how to store energy and release energy, okay? So first I found out who the athlete that I'm talking with, because if he's always been a linear mover, so if he's tall and he played basketball and he was a wide receiver, who's going to transfer into golf easier, him or a quarterback who also played baseball who can hit the ball far? Okay, so that's number one. I found out who they are, what movement patterns they understand, and then it depends on the mechanical swing fault that they have, what's the biomechanical underlying that, and then I kind of build the program from there. But just, you know, if you're looking at Tiger Woods or John Daly, I mean, John Daly's, he's you know, it's not a very repetitive golf swing, but he's a great golfer. We're all great golfers, but the normal society, you know, they're going to go out there and keep hitting balls and keep hitting balls. But I hate to say it, if they have improper movement patterns, it's just not going to be beneficial. So, you know, you still do your core strength, but get with your golf professional. I hate this. It's kind of hard to answer that because I'm not the traditional kind of guy saying, yeah, you know, increase your core strength and get long and get stronger. I'm more on recreating movement patterns through fitness. Does that make sense?
So what I'm hearing from you, and please correct me if I'm mishearing you, but what I'm hearing is that since there's all different body types, there's not like a general answer like if you fit the mold of a Tiger Woods or in between, you know, you have to do X, Y, and Z. It's more find a trainer that is competent in the golf world and competent enough in the golf motion. He can do a personal assessment for your body type and help you improve. Is that correct?
I could agree with that. You know, I can agree with that. I mean, a lot of guys that, you know, a lot of guys 60, 65, you know, unfortunately, they've been in the business world for many years. They've gained 15 to 20 pounds, you know, and they lost core strength. And, you know, a general fitness, you know, a workout fitness for golf routine will definitely help them feel better, let them have more endurance. They have less aches and pain, and they can actually play longer golf. I will definitely go there.
Okay.
And say that.
Now, another question, and then I actually have another meeting, but one last quick question. And this, so New Year's Eve, right? Everyone makes these resolutions. They're going to get in better shape and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, parking lots of gyms are full. There's actually waiting lines for the cardio stuff and benches and all that good stuff. Well, now we're, what, 2-3 weeks into January. The parking lot's getting a little emptier, this, that, and whatever happens. And I'm sure some people are working out at home. I pray that some people are working out at home. So is there things that people can do at home versus things they can do at the gym? Like, can you talk a little bit about home exercise versus gym exercise and that category, please?
Yeah, you don't need a lot of equipment. As you can see, my studio is basically, we don't have a lot of benches. We do a lot of stuff with bands. I do a lot of stuff where your body has to stabilize its own self versus sitting on a bench. I call it pin and push, where you put a pin in and push it. So we do pretty much everything, 3-plane functional movements. You don't need to go to a gym. In fact, I don't even go to the gym anymore. It's counterproductive to my sport now. Even when I was in the MMA world for 17 years, I trained pretty much, you know, more core and rotational and stuff. But now in the golf, I personally believe, I mean, the ultimate, my online program has all your workouts for you. That's just with bands and dumbbells. It's got everything. It's got 10 workouts, a pre-round stretch routine, nutrition for on-course, off-course. Also has biomechanics. But I think the most important thing is the New Year's resolution thing, like you said. I I mean, as we know, it takes 15 days, it takes 15 days to lose enthusiasm and 31 days to form a habit. That's why most nutritional plans fail or exercise plans fail the first 2 weeks. I personally believe that 100-day challenge is the best because, number one, it makes you accountable. I mean, I'm talking about fitness now. I'm talking about nutrition, supplementation, and nutrition, cardio, and weight training synergistically. 70% is going to be nutrition, 15% is going to be cardio, and 15% is going to be weight training in the world of weight loss. Okay? So when you ask, is it better to go to the gym or is it better to go in a studio or at their house, depends on what their goal is. If they're trying to lose weight, remember, we don't lose weight in the gym. We lose weight by nutrition.
Yeah.
So if that's one of their main goals, you have to find out what the goal is. If they're trying to create golf performance, I mean, I'm not an advocate or a big fan of the big box gyms where you just push a pin in and push.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like a lot of rotational. I like a lot of core. I like stuff that if you walked into a gym and saw somebody doing it, you'd be like, what is this guy doing? But all the workouts that you can do at your house, I have a lot of stuff that you can do. I have a lot of clients, of course, executives who travel. So I have workouts that they can just do with a band in their room. I have like 10-minute workouts that you can do. All my workouts, to be honest with you now, is just gone to 30-minute workouts.
And you know what the beauty of that is, like you said, if you're an executive or you don't want a gym membership, but you have some space in your home, you can go on Amazon or you can go on wherever, buy those bands. If one of your exercises calls for the free weights that are in the background there, you can get those, or kettlebells or whatever the workout calls for. You can get those, ship them to your house, and the bands are fairly inexpensive. And then you can just follow a routine that you found either on your online workout program or Fitness for Golf online workout program, and you have access to it anywhere you want.
Exactly.
And it's a gym of one.
And if you're like looking at dumbbells, so if I took this band and I wanted to do an overhead press, you talking about eccentric, concentric, and stabilization. These bands are the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
You can squat with them. You can do overhead presses with them. You can do these bands. To me, are the best. They're part of my training with my clients. But I'm saying if you had one piece of equipment to take with you, I would get a power band.
And the beauty of these online programs is you have your own personal TPI certified instructor in your house. So you have your band and you're getting certified training for none of the gym fees and none of the hour sessions, or the exorbitant hour sessions.
Exactly. If you follow I have 10 workouts on there for you that you can mix them up and have fun with them. I have traveling ones, but in Fitness for Golf, they can kind of read the articles to get a little taste of it, get a little exercise here or there. But like you say, to get the full benefit, you can go and get my online program or something like that. And first I get the 100-day challenge to get motivated, and then I would get I'd get the golf fitness stuff.
Great. Well, is there anything else you want to add to close this particular hangout out?
No, I'm good. If anybody has any questions, you can email me at chrisonmeyahoo.com. My website is, go to my blog, chrisonme.com. If you just type in Chris Onby Golf Fitness in Google, you'll find me. So if you have any questions, I had 2 calls yesterday, one from Florida and one from New York. And so I'm definitely up to answering any questions that anybody has. I don't charge for that stuff. I enjoy this. Is what I have a passion for, to make people better. And I'm very happy that Fitness for Golf, since y'all have been taking it over, I got great articles. I really enjoy the putting that y'all had this last time and the mental aspect. So the best thing about it is you're putting together a team for everybody. Meaning, a team, you got to have your mental, your mechanical, your physical, your club fitter. And I think, Fitness for Golf magazine does that, and I think it does it very well.
Well, thank you. And we truly appreciate and we really enjoy working with you because you have so much great information. And not only you, but we've worked with Wade Pierce. I think you may have read him, and he's got some great mental game exercises. And we've got some golf pros that have worked with some legendary pros, so they know the mechanics with a club in your hand, and it's been a lot of fun. And we look to continue to build on this, and I hope to do some more hangouts like this with you in the future.
Perfect.
And I will be sure to pass on your information to the Google world and YouTube world and Facebook world, so everybody knows who Chris Ownby is.
Let's go play some golf.
All right, play some golf. Thanks, Chris. See ya.